Your land deal could hinge on a hole in the ground. The full perk test process takes 1 to 3 weeks from scheduling to approved permit, but wait times can stretch much longer. Here's the shock. The actual soil test only takes 1 to 2 hours, yet the entire timeline balloons to weeks. That's because scheduling delays, county backlogs, and perk season bottlenecks are the real killers, not the test itself. The hands-on work is fast. The bureaucracy is what stalls your transaction. If you're under a 14-day due diligence window, you're already in trouble. Start the perk test process before you go under contract. A percolation test, or Perc test, measures how fast water drains through soil on your property. This matters because it determines whether your land can support a septic system. And in rural areas where municipal sewer lines don't exist, no septic system means no construction, no development, no deal. County health departments mandate perk testing before they'll approve a septic permit. The test involves digging holes, saturating the soil, and measuring drainage rates over time. It's straightforward science, but it's also a compliance gate that controls your entire transaction timeline. Most homeowners and investors don't realize that the bottleneck isn't the test itself. It's getting on the county's schedule in the first place. Perc tests cost around $1,300 on average, with most paying between $750 and $1,900, depending on property size and excavation needs. Angi, 2026. It's an affordable investment that prevents your entire deal from falling apart. The actual perk test is remarkably fast. A perk test takes 1 to 2 days to complete on average, with soil preparation typically requiring more time than the actual testing phase, which usually takes no more than 4 hours. Bob Vila, 2026. Perc, a Florida-based septic testing provider, confirms that perk tests are usually completed in about 2 hours, though they can take anywhere from 1 to 6 hours depending on the site's complexity and the number of holes required. Perc, 2026. So the hands-on work is done in a single afternoon. But here's where the timeline explodes. Scheduling. Perk testing appointments are typically scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis, and once perk season opens, demand is often high, and existing application queues can affect scheduling timelines. COA Barrett, 2026. In some counties, scheduling a perk test appointment takes 4 to 6 weeks. Landmodo, 2026. If your due diligence window is 14 days, you need to negotiate a longer period up front or you'll miss the appointment window entirely. This is why Goliath Data and other real estate platforms now integrate perk test status tracking into transaction workflows. The scheduling delay is the real killer, not the test. Wet season testing is scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis and typically occurs between February 1 and April 30. Arundel County Health Department, 2026. Miss that window? You wait until next year. This is the real mechanism that breaks deals. Step 1. Schedule your perk test before you make an offer. Don't wait until you're under contract. Contact your county health department or a licensed septic contractor in your area and ask when the next perk season opens. Some counties accept applications 60 days in advance. Get your name on that list immediately. The first-come, first-served system rewards speed, so don't assume you can schedule later. Step 2. Prepare your property. The contractor will need access to your land and will typically mark out the test locations. This usually takes a day or two. Make sure the site is accessible. Clear brush, mark utility lines, and confirm the exact acreage. The contractor will dig test holes, usually 3 to 5 depending on county requirements. Soil preparation is the phase that eats time, not the actual testing. Step 3. Conduct the percolation test. The contractor saturates each hole and measures water absorption over a set period. This is the fast part. It's typically 4 hours or less of actual on-site work. You don't need to be present, but it's smart to have someone there to monitor the process. Step 4. Wait for results and county review. Once the test is done, the contractor prepares a report and submits it to the county health department. This review phase can take 1 to 2 weeks, depending on backlog. The county either approves the report or asks for additional testing. Budget for this lag. Step 5. Align construction or installation timing with your approval. Perc test results remain valid for 2 to 5 years, so you should time your test to align with your construction or septic installation timeline. Angi 2026. If you test now but won't build for 3 years, you might waste your result. Plan backwards from your intended construction date. This is where Goliath Data's transaction timeline tracking becomes valuable. It keeps all these dates synchronized so nothing falls through the cracks. Let's walk through a concrete scenario. An investor in North Carolina purchases a 15-acre rural property intended for a 3-lot subdivision. The seller wants closing in 90 days. On day 1, the investor calls the county health department and discovers Perc season doesn't open until February. It's January. She gets on the waiting list immediately. On day 35, Perc season opens. Her application is processed and she's scheduled for a Perc test on day 42, 7 weeks after her initial call. This lands her right at the 6-week scheduling barrier cited in county records. The contractor arrives on day 42, spends 4 hours on site, and submits the report by day 44. The county health department takes 10 days to review and approve. By day 54, she has her approval letter. She can now safely move to septic design and construction planning. Her total timeline from first call to approved permit, 54 days. If she had waited until day 30 to call, her appointment would have slipped to day 73, eating nearly half her 90-day closing window. This investor didn't have the luxury of waiting. She moved the Perc test up front, and it didn't delay her deal. This is the lesson. Scheduling is the bottleneck. The test itself takes 4 hours. The calendar takes 8 weeks. Mistake 1. Scheduling your Perc test after you go under contract. If you're under a 14-day due diligence window and you haven't scheduled your test yet, you're already behind. Counties won't fast-track appointments. First come, first served means they don't care how urgent your deal is. Fix this by making the Perc test your first step before signing anything. Never rely on the seller's old test if it's older than 2 years. Get your own test scheduled immediately. Mistake 2. Missing Perc season. If your county has a February to April testing window and you miss that deadline, you're waiting until next year. No exceptions, no expedited services. This single mistake can kill a year-long transaction. The fix. Know your county's Perc season dates by June of the prior year. Mark the opening date in your calendar. Set a reminder 60 days before. Don't leave it to chance. Mistake 3. Underestimating county review time. You assume your test results come back in 3 days. They don't. County health departments review 1 to 2 weeks or longer depending on backlog. You then need time to address any questions or requests for additional testing. Budget 2 weeks minimum for county sign-off after your test is completed. This is where deals slip. The investor assumes it's fast and suddenly they're 60 days behind schedule. Mistake 4. Testing at the wrong time in your build cycle. If you test today but won't build for 4 years, your result expires in 2 to 5 years. You waste the money and the scheduling slot. The fix. Work backwards from your intended construction date. If you're building in 18 months, test now. If you're still in acquisition mode, wait until your financing or design is locked before you trigger the Perc test. The rule that closes deals. Schedule your Perc test before you go under contract. Know your county's Perc season and plan backwards from your construction date. Do those 3 things, and you'll move faster than 95% of land investors. Subscribe for more real estate timeline breakdowns.